think they're good kids. I mean, they don't. I think they're young and they don't understand the consequences of what they do. They're still too young to understand that, and particularly they just live in circumstances that just push them to do the things they do. And but a little bit of what happens in the movie obviously will teach them that there's certain things that you don't mess with, and particularly with blind veterans. It was a very strong presence. Steven was, he walks on set. He doesn't see like if somebody's bringing him by the hand because he's wearing these contact lenses and he can see anything with those. So it wasn't slang showing on set. It was really blind, and every time he showed up on set, everybody went quiet, and he would just go to his corner and get ready to do the scene, and we had a brief chat, and he goes and does it, and the other actors I could see they were like so terrified, not just of the character but of his presence. And of course, most of them are young actors that made a few movies like Slang, and Stephen Lang had such a body of work, and so that was already intimidating for them. But it was, and again, he brings it on. Like I'm sure the actors told you, but he wouldn't, cut them any slack. He would really give 200% every scene, and it was scary for them. Like they're very physical, right? Those scenes they're involved in, they're very physical, and there wasn't a moment where he was going soft on them. If he asked me, I was like, "Don't go soft on them. Go as hard as you can." And we'll ask them, and most actors will go like, "Yeah, bring it," and then they will find out what that meant in the middle of the scene, right? Everybody's trying to survive on the situation they're put on. Like that's really what I do. That's really what they're trying to do. Of course, the kids are more to blame because they create that situation, but that would reveal other things that perhaps that was meant to be. But it's definitely a tricky one when it comes to the morals, and that's the way I like it with movies. I don't like when, as a director, I wouldn't like to spoon feed the audience about who they should like and who they shouldn't like. It's for them to decide. We're just going to state some facts in the story, and it's going to be this character encounter each other, and you have to decide who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, who deserves to die, who doesn't, and I think that makes for entertaining movies when you're like discussing with the person next to you, or after the movie having an argument about if that guy deserved to die or not, if that guy deserved to live or not. Like movies are always about morals. We're all moral beings, and when we're sitting in the theater, we watch the stories, and we're challenged all the time morally. Like, is that right? Is that wrong? Because the movies are supposed to show the way we're supposed to live, right? So that's at least the experience that most people have, even on an unconscious level. So for me, it was very interesting to play with those shady morals of all the characters, and let the audience decide who's wrong and who's right. The visual style definitely comes out of the house itself and the blind man. They define that, right? And because he's blind, there's not a lot of lights inside that he uses. Most of the light comes from the outside, and that really defines the look of the movie. But there's one particular scene, at least stylistically, that I'm very proud of, which is the full darkness scene in the cellar. I, th- I thought, me and Pedro Luque, the DP in this movie, we thought, okay, we need to tell this scene where all the lights goes off. If there's no light, there's no image. How are we going to shot that scene? And there was a style that we've seen, of course, since Buffalo Bills had the goggles on Silence of the Lambs. We know that there's a night vision style that says this is darkness, although you're seeing. And we said, what if maybe the audience is already at that point where they know that means darkness, and we don't need a character in the movie to have a device that explain why they can see. They cannot see. We see as an audience, but filmmaking is all about that. We give the audience a point of view that maybe nobody in the movie have. And so, and that particular thing, we did some tests, and at the end of the day, like what you see in the movie is what we thought was the best way to do it, and it was a huge leap of faith. Like, we never knew how people were going to react when they see that, but now I'm so happy to know that nobody questioned for a second that when suddenly the movie started cuts to black and white. Like people go, okay, it's full darkness, which is very strange. But I'm very proud of that and how it worked. And my favorite part is how every time the blind man shoots his gun and there's light, color comes in for a couple frames and then it goes black and white again. Such a strange thing, but it really puts you in a strange mindset and it makes for a very scary set piece. If you want to do a smart movie, I think usually the trick is to respect the audience, right? And being very mindful of the audience, meaning they are a smart audience. Like they've seen so many movies and they've seen so many genre movies, and particularly in the horror and thriller world, they've seen so many scenarios. So they make them for a very savvy audience. And if you give them situations and scenes that they've seen before, they will know what the outcome of that is, and that's when you do a bad job. So I think being smart is you have to outsmart the audience. You have to create situations and scenarios when they think they know, and everybody's like, I know how this ends, to surprise them completely. That's what they expect from the film, right? That's what they expect from a good film, and hopefully we're doing that.